So how does the analytic brain become so powerful and so influential in our everyday lives? Now that's different for each of us, but consider my case. When I was a kid, I probably watched way too much television, but I really wasn't involved in sports as a child, and this was before the internet or gaming or social media. So what's the latchkey kid supposed to do when you're the first person home? Now, two of my favorite shows were Star Trek and Gilligan's Island. Obviously, these two shows were completely different genres. Futuristic sci-fi versus a very far-fetched sitcom. I mean, far-fetched as in, how does Thurston Howell III, a billionaire, wind up on the USS Minnow rather than his own fleet of yachts? I'm just saying. Okay, but I digress. As different as these shows were, they both had something in common. Something that was hugely influential to me as a child. In both cases, within the overall ensemble cast with the different characters and different personalities, both shows featured a single character that was the archetype intellectual logical hero. Yeah, you know which characters I'm talking about. On Star Trek, it was Spock. On Gilligan's Island, it was the Professor. For me, these became more than just TV characters. They actually became unintentional role models. Both Spock and the Professor were indispensable to the people around them. I mean, to the mission or to the survival of the group. In Spock's case, he also had superhuman strength, along with his superior intellectual capacity. But the character of Spock was all logic and no emotions. Apparently, emotions did not play well in Vulcan society, which probably explains why the Vulcan cable service never featured Jerry Springer. Meanwhile, the Professor knew everything about everything and could just rattle off facts and figures from the top of his head. How cool was that? Me, like every other child, we need to feel special. We need to be good at something, to be recognized for some achievement, however dubious. In my neighborhood, my older brother's friends would call me the Professor. They would summon me over to wherever they happened to be standing, and they'd ask the same question over and over again. So, how far is the Earth from the Sun? And without skipping a beat, I would just rattle off 93 million miles. I enjoyed that title of the Professor, because as a child, I didn't have anything else going for me. So like most of you, our analytic brains became so powerful and so influential because that's the space where we did well. That's where we learned to feel valued and special. And then, of course, we grow up and we pursue a STEM-based education and career, which further reinforces and strengthens the analytic brain. But if we're going to be able to communicate effectively with the world around us, then it won't just be bits and bytes and megahertz or synchronous clocking techniques. No, there's going to be occasions where we need to tame the analytic mind so that we can be more balanced. It's time to recognize and start nurturing something that we've always had. We just didn't use it a lot. The personally engaged brain. In my next post, I'll discuss how the personally engaged brain actually complements the analytic brain, making us more well-rounded, better friends, better lovers, a greater value to the world around us, and get this, just plain happier. I'll see you then.